Oh, and I'll let you go ahead and do an intro.
Alright, and we are back yet again with some more Aoe2 Escape Gaming Elimination Draft Tournament action in the second game between TaToH and TheViper. The map today will once again be Cenotes, which is from the Forgotten expansion to Aoe2 HD on Steam. On the right side of the map we have, dun dun dun, it is TaToH playing as the blue Mongols, and on the left side of the map we have TheViper playing as the red Malay. Ooh.
Yeah, and we just showed how the civs have been banned and stuff. I mean, I would have loved to have done this from the start, but turns out we were a little unprepared, and it's really it gets kind of confusing when you're keeping track of 8 different players, and every single game 4 new civs are banned and 1 civ is picked. It's very quickly narrows the civ pool down, but still, I mean, the Mongols and the Malay in round 2 still very strong civilizations, that's for sure. So Viper gets the win after game 1. TaToH, I mean, he played an okay game. Wasn't that convincing. I certainly thought he had a good shot at it. But going into game 2 now, he's going to be looking to get his own back and draw things out level. It's a 1-1. Cenotes, the map, we've seen this a few times already, and we've spoken about how it's very open. The wood lines are very small. The little ponds like to disrupt things a little bit as well. And yeah, I mean, what are we expecting to see from these guys here?
Well, to answer that question, TaToH's plan was he doesn't want to steal the series back. He also wants to steal a turkey. He sent his scout forward at the very start of the game, within the first, 2 minutes, to try and steal a turkey, and he almost got away with it too, if it wasn't for that meddling Viper villager. So, the Viper does get his turkey back, and with that, he's off to a strong start. But wow, TaToH not content yet. He wants to steal all the birds this year, and it looks like he might want that boar too. Is he going to steal it too? No, he's not.
Well, I hope he goes forward a bit more, because there's actually a better boar here. If he comes forward, he sees this one, he's like, oh man, I should have taken the boar at the front. If only this wasn't the expansions, I could have potentially stolen 2. No, it's very unlikely he would ever do that. But yeah, oh, what happened to the turkeys?
They got stolen back. The Viper, the god, cannot be touched. Completely immune to TaToH's creative out-of-the-box bird-stealing strategy. Absolutely no counter.
Well,
yeah.
They say that TaToH is quite well versed in picking up the birds, but fortunately Viper's even better at stealing them back. I think you could say that TaToH maybe got a little cock-blocked there. But
hey.
Yeah, to be honest with you, TaToH doing what Mongol players often like to do, take advantage of the fact that their scout cavalry has extra line of sight and look to see what they can find and steal what they can, giving themselves every advantage possible, of course. Now, TaToH was hanging around this boar on the left side for a long time, but he's instead going to get boxed in by Viper, and he's not going to be getting out of there with a boar, fortunately for TaToH. Of course, why would he want to steal a boar? Well, he's the Mongols, and he gathers from hunt very, very quickly. As a result, having that boar can be a very nice early game boost to your economy. And yeah, Viper here, interesting. Look at that dock. Would you just look at that? I can't believe he's docking the lake. This might be the first time we've seen a player actually dock a lake on Cenotes.
And of course he's doing this because he's playing as the Malay, a civilization with infinite fish traps, which means that you can actually do something with your fishing ships once you transition in the later stages of the game. It's a really efficient source of food with gill nets, actually. It's about as efficient as a farmer with wheelbarrow and handcart, provided you keep it really close to the dock. TaToH just getting blown back. This opening really not working out for him. He wanted to steal as many turkeys as possible and either steal that boar or harass the hunter that came in to try and get it, but his scout did end up getting hit a couple times first, so he has to run away. Really, this is not the opening that he was looking for, and I love that the Viper making a couple fishing ships. There are 3 shorefish here, so it's just barely enough as long as he doesn't overcommit to this. This could give him a pretty solid economy as the game drags on. I really feel like the infinite fish traps is pretty underutilized by expert players, so I can't wait to see it in action here. What a great start for the Viper.
Yeah, interesting, for sure. I mean, he managed to get most of his resources back. I think TaToH maybe stole 1 turkey in total. And in fact, this going forward so quickly did mean that he left a couple of turkeys unfound until now. But he will eventually get them back into the TC, and that's not going to delay his food economy much. He will actually click up to the feudal age very quickly here, as is expected with the Mongols. They usually click up on either 20 or 21 population. He's going to go up for 21 and most likely go for scouts, which is certainly what the Mongols are very well known for. Meanwhile, Viper is starting to, I think he's trying to wall up on this left-hand side. He does seem to be sending a villager out there to start building some walls, and he's got 2 fishing ships out. This is greedy from Viper, to say the least, because it's not like he's got the most wallable map. It's still very open. And we saw a similar situation when Viper played versus Leary in the first round, where Leary was playing like Viper. He was playing very wally, very like, okay, I'm going to just get greedy here. I'm going to wall up and fast castle. Well, it came to bite Leary in the ass. And we know that TaToH's going to be very quick to the feudal age and very quick to get his scouts out. Will Viper be able to defend from that? Will he be able to get walls up in time? What's the game plan for Viper here?
It's going to be really tricky for him. Senos is a super open map. It's about as hard to wall as Arabia, and you have to keep in mind these pawns as well can get in the way of that strategy. TaToH, I think, had an excellent game plan going on there, really trying to take advantage of the Mongols' strengths, like you said, with the added line of sight on the scouts. And right now, going for a Scout Rush 2, which I think is great on a map this open. The Viper, though, put both of his lumber camps at the back, which will make it a little bit harder for TaToH to get in. So the Viper, slowing down his own feudal age, very, very greedy. Going for that dock plus 3 fishing ships will certainly pay off if he doesn't die to this initial rush. And right now, if we swap to his perspective, he is on the way to the feudal age 2. Gonna put down a barracks, so probably end up making a few spearmen to hold the line. He's going up a 27 population, which is pretty solid, but can he hold the line versus these scouts? TaToH building the stable now.
Yeah, Viper's map as well, though, is quite nice, to be honest. If you consider that, okay, he's actually got a forward gold, but he's got 3 gold piles in the back behind these walls. He's got a back stone over here as well. His other stone mines are at the front, but everything else is quite well contained in the back of his base, and he doesn't need that forward gold given that he has 3 gold piles at the back as well. So Viper, feudal age in for him, and I think we forgot something very crucial about the Malay. They can be greedy in the Dark Age because they upgrade to the next age 80% faster. Viper's going to hit feudal before the first scout even comes out. And look at the difference in population. 23 for TaToH, Viper on 28. This is huge for him. TaToH, though, coming in with his scout here. Will he actually pick up a fishing ship? Is Viper going to let that go?
Oh my god, he might. Yeah, you were absolutely correct, of course, about the Malay. 80% faster advancing is huge. It basically guarantees you a 2-villager lead early on. And oh my god, he's going to pick off the fishing ship. That's huge. That is a big, big economic boost for the Malay. You especially really want to take advantage of those not only discounted fish traps, but the fact that they're infinite can really pay off. And wow, he's actually going to lose one there. So that's great for TaToH. A defensive spearman here for the Viper, trying to hold the line. He's not too far behind because of the age advancement bonus, and now it's going to be a dance between these scouts and these spearmen, but I can't help but shake the feeling. Now, the Viper is not far enough behind for these scouts to be that effective, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I mean, these scouts, there's only 2 of them right now. There's a 3rd one on the way at low health. I don't think they're going to find much, to be honest. Viper right now still playing a very passive game. We've seen the barracks come up and some spearmen out, but really not a lot else other than that. He's actually sending villagers over to the gold now. And oh, hang on a minute. Did I speak too soon? Viper here getting a bit low, but of course the spearmen are on the way over to save the day. I still think it's going to be very difficult for TaToH to achieve much here. Viper's probably feeling pretty safe behind these walls. And still, I mean, no military production building as far as I can see, apart from the stable and that another dock at the back. I mean, this is about as greedy can be, as Viper is now adding the 2nd dock as well. This is a ridiculous playstyle from him, something we've never seen before on this map so far. And would you look at how many villages he's got on berries as well? 9 villages on berries? That's not something you see every day. Very, very interesting, very different, very curious. And I wonder if TaToH is going to be able to punish this greediness from the Viper.
If you guys thought the last game was weird and interesting, then I hope you're prepared for this one. What an unorthodox build from the Viper, but I love it. Really taking advantage of all the strengths the Malay have to offer, and finally, someone who's abusing those infinite fish traps. If you guys haven't seen the first game in the series, definitely make sure to watch that. There will be a link to it in the video description for both of us, and it is going to be great. This one, though, the Viper has some spearmen protecting his gold mine at the back, which is very, very nice. We didn't really talk too much about the map generation because there's been action from the very start. Meanwhile, TaToH actually has a gold mine safe at the back of his own base, so really, I don't think he's accomplishing that much with these scouts, but he is getting some valuable map information. He might be able to pick up a villager, though? Not quite.
Nah, he's still not found a single villager yet. Now, TaToH in this situation, he knows Viper's playing greedy. Now, the standard meta for the Mongols is to switch into 2 ranges. Usually, after you've done your scouts, I guess more often than not, you'll see them switch into 2 ranges. And, oh, hang on a minute. TaToH just harassing the vills on the woodline, harassing the vills on the berries, but still yet to find anything. No villagers getting low enough to get an easy pick off. Maybe he'll just go back to the fish and try and pick another one of those instead. But as I was saying, the meta game normally for the 2 archery ranges, there they are from TaToH there. But I think he's going to be able to hit the castle age first, or click up before this. So TaToH's going to have a decent castle time still, but Viper's economy is going to be super strong by the time he clicks up, since he's going to have these additional fishing ships boosting and bolstering his food economy, which TaToH just simply doesn't have, and he's not going to have by the looks of it either, although, yeah, he's going to build a wall here, not a dock.
Oh my. What a very, very bizarre game. TaToH up to his 2 archer ranges, like you just said. He has enough resources in the bank to click up the castle. He will be doing that right now. And he's just trying to be a nuisance to these fishing ships at the front, forcing the Viper to turn his attention away and retask them to the shorefish at the back. And meanwhile, since he's going to be our first player to start advancing the castle age, I think that'll be almost entirely canceled out by the 80% faster advancement time that the Viper gets as the Malay. But we'll have to see. He's not able to start that yet. And even though TaToH's scout rush was not that effective, he really did want to pick off a few villagers, and the fact he got none is absurd. This game is still neck and neck. It's really close. So I can't wait to see what these players go for as they get through the ages. It looks like the Viper will be going for a secondary stable, and I'm curious to see how this will work out.
Well, I think that's his second feudal building, so I don't know if he's maybe planning some knights in the castle age, but yeah, he's doing a second stable there, and that explains the huge number of villagers on gold. He's got 10 on gold right now, 3, 6, 9, yeah, 10. 2 stables back here, out of view from TaToH for now, and probably going to stay out of view from TaToH because he's bringing the spearmen out to keep the scouts pushed into this left side of the map so they won't see the 2 stables. And yeah, I mean, TaToH's coming forwards with some skirms here, unupgraded, not going to really do a whole lot. And, well, actually, they're going to push the villagers away from the stone, which is nice.
Pick off.
But he's not going to kill anything. Once again, it's just, oh, man, just so unfortunate for TaToH. But yeah, Viper here, 2 stables, and he's going to be castle in just a tick. He clicked up a lot later than TaToH, but he's still going to be there at roughly the same time. And as a result, with such a huge food economy, with all these fish, with the 11 villagers or 10 villagers on gold, he is going to be able to afford 2 stable knights. 46 population going up to the castle age here, while TaToH is on 44. But TaToH has got more military right now, and mostly comprising of skirms. So this is not going to end well.
So Zach, right there was the most important part of this match so far. TaToH killed 1 villager, so he's still in this game, picked off one of those stone miners. If you're wondering why the Viper is going for knights as the Malay, it's a great question. The Malay have some of the worst stable in the game. They don't have bloodlines, they're missing both of the late game defense upgrades, so their knights are absolute trash. Why go for them? Because he scouted the double archery range that was fully garrisoned, and I'm pretty sure that TaToH expected archers. That's a fairly standard transition. In fact, he expected them so much that he went for elite skirmisher. These knights take almost no damage, these skirmishers have, God, they have minimum range. The Viper with an excellent play here, reading TaToH like a book, gonna clean up those skirms.
But you know what's more fascinating about this is that TaToH would normally make crossbows in this position, because the Mongols are more likely to make crossbows, I feel, than go into skirms. That's like the more standard metagame. But yeah, I mean, straight into skirms in anticipation of Viper making archers, and that's the power of seeing the 1 archery range on the front from Viper. How many units did Viper train from that archery range?
Did he actually trade any? Yeah.
He trained no units from the archery range, but he left the archery range visible to TaToH. And then TaToH goes, okay, well, Viper's going to go into archers. I better make some skirms. Bam, knights.
That's mind games.
That's amazing.
Oh, totally, totally. But thankfully, TaToH is prepared. He will have a stable out, so you can go for camels. This is something that's really crucial that the Mongols actually have access to that the Malay don't, which is a great counter. However, he's criminally outnumbered, and it's going to take a while for him to claw his way back into this. The elite skirm play, not working out, getting played like a violin. But thankfully for him, the Viper has to put a town center at the front of his base, which will be raidable. The Viper going to put down a monastery as well to start converting some camels that are coming out. And I feel like when you go for the knights as the Malay, it's not something you can commit to for too long. And I think that's what TaToH has to depend on, is that over time, he should be able to get the advantage here and force the Viper to transition into something else. So can he do something with that? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think the nice thing here for TaToH is that there is no longevity in these knights, you know, that are really bad. So he's not going to want to stick on the knights for too long. It was a nice play from Viper, but easily countered by the camels for sure. TaToH, I mean, score-wise, he's really not far behind, and considering he doesn't have 2 docks and fishing ships, that's really not too bad at all. Viper's actually just finished up the shorefish over here on the left side, and he doesn't have that much surplus wood. He did, however, seed the 3 fish traps, and he will take advantage of those infinite fishing traps, like you said earlier on. So, you know, he is going to get that now going. It's something, I guess. I mean, it's an extra 6 villagers working, essentially, but fishing ships gather very slowly from the fish traps. It's just a slow, steady source of food. And I don't think it puts him that far ahead. And in fact, if you look at the population, 65 for Viper, 58 for TaToH is really respectable considering the start that Viper had.
So I did a lot of testing for the Malay Civ overview video I did, and what surprised me about the Malay fish traps is how not crappy they are. This is a bonus I think is really difficult to evaluate because fish traps, you're right, are notoriously inefficient. It's just that with the help of gill nets from our Lord and Savior Sijin, actually makes them very efficient if you position the fish traps almost adjacent to the dock or adjacent to it. So that will be a decent source of food. Still though, that doesn't seem that crazy, but when you think about it, that's a farm that you don't have to keep reseeding. So it will be a nice boost to his economy. It's not going to be a huge one though. And meanwhile, the Viper, looking for a window of opportunity, going to try and sneak in his knights on the right side. He should be able to bust down that palisade wall with absolutely no difficulty whatsoever. The Viper going to have some trouble defending at the front side of his base, but the way his buildings are oriented and the fact that he's a town center there should keep him safe in the meantime. TaToH has to watch the back though. I think the Viper's going to come in soon.
Yeah, he's actually just going to walk around the palisade because TaToH didn't finish the job. God damn. But yeah, so I was wrong before. TaToH did train 1 archer, which is still alive and scouting the map quite nicely. But yeah, the knights are in. TaToH has got +2 attack on the TCs though, thanks to bodkin arrows. So I don't think these knights are going to be too much of a threat. They probably will go down pretty quickly. No bloodlines, no +2 defense. But I mean, they're only going to be going down if they stay in range of the TC, right? So TaToH probably will lose 1 villager here, but just 1 villager, it's not so bad. The woodline disrupted though, and yeah, it's not ideal to say the least, but not the hugest of threats from these knights. You can send the camels back as well, which he will do. But yeah, so on the front, TaToH kind of moving out. He's got decent map control, to be honest, even still. And I don't know what his next move is going to be. Both players seem quite content to just boom up on their 3 TCs right now.
Yeah, TaToH with actually keeping up quite nicely. I feel like one of the Viper's fishing ships is actually bugged. I hate this so much. This is why this bonus sometimes has some issues where sometimes like the fishing ships, I feel like it's stuck in the fish traps. Hopefully that one isn't actually stuck at the top side of the map. Regardless, the Viper's raid will only be so effective. He's picked off a couple of villagers, but these camels will be able to deny that. Knight's actually not that fast. They're fast enough, but the camels can chase them down. A few defensive monks thrown into the mix. This game is neck and neck, so the question on my mind is, who is the better late game and who's got a plan? And the answer is the Viper at least has a plan, and that is dropping a castle on this hill right next to TaToH's base in the middle of the map. But he changes his mind. He's scaled back his ambitions just a little bit, realizes that's a little too bold. Gonna bring that one back, and now TaToH looking for an opportunity to engage. The Viper only has archers, no crossbows, and he's gonna lose a lot of units here.
Well, I mean, he's got the monks, and that seems to be enough to push TaToH away, but I'm sure TaToH would love to have been able to push forward there and deny the castle. A couple of conversions go in the way of Viper there, and TaToH is actually forced to retreat, which is really unfortunate. He does, however, scout the castle here, so he knows that's going on. But, I mean, if he'd have had just a few more crossbows, maybe he could have stopped that going up and snagged a few village killers as well. As it stands, Viper's just got a little bit too much military on the ground here, too many boots to protect that castle, and TaToH is going to have to just hold on to the hill. As far as the castle placement goes, it's good in the sense that it will protect the gold, and that's really the main focus of this castle, I feel, but it's not so good in the fact that it has got hills on either side of it, which TaToH could take later on and easily trebuchet that castle to the ground. So yeah, he's got to be a little careful of that. Also seems like TaToH's a little closer to being able to hit the Imperial Age here, or at least click up. But I've noticed TaToH getting housed quite a lot, actually. He's currently housed at a 95 population. But even still, TaToH here, Siege Workshop coming up on the front, more crossbows coming out, and another raid from Viper. Looks like it's about to come round on this right-hand side.
Yeah, but he's going to walk straight into this wall of popsicle sticks, which will delay his knights just a little bit. Meanwhile, the Viper building additional fishing ships. This bonus is notoriously hard to evaluate, but I promise you guys, it is super strong. It saves you a ton of wood over the course of the game, and it's really very close to the efficiency of a farmer, and if you position those fish traps carefully. It's totally impractical to replace your entire farming economy with that. Don't do that. You have to build so many docks, so your fish traps are going to get stuck on each other. It becomes a nightmare. But mixing in just a little bit, just like the Viper is doing, it's that special sauce that really brings out the seasoning here. And right now, of course, the Viper has to retreat. TaToH doing a great job holding the line. The Viper actually has close to enough money to research the Imperial Age, and same with TaToH. So it's neck and neck here. Both these guys almost ready to go imp.
Tell me more about the special sauce, Rest. Oh man, yeah, I've noticed a couple of these fish though. They really are looking a little bugged out. Seems like they are gathering resources though. I'm not sure actually. Maybe they are just bugged. Two of them just seem to be idling. I'm not sure. But okay, right now, TaToH will click up to imp, but Viper's going to be there faster thanks to his bonus, and we've spoken about this more than enough times, so I'm not going to go over that again. But yeah, TaToH claims the hill on the left. He also claims the gold there. Viper, though, looking to make a claim to the hill on the right. TaToH needs to act fast. He cannot let Viper get the castle here. This will be horrendous for him. Yeah, that'll be 2 castles versus 1. It's going to be a castle on a hill as well, and it's going to pressure his economy here with this front gold being dangerously close. TaToH, please don't let Viper get this castle, but at the same time, what can he do? He doesn't have the army here to actually engage this uphill battle. I think he might have to just let it go and suffer the consequences.
God, the Viper is hell-bent on getting this castle because he wanted to build it there initially, but he deleted it. He was patient, took his time, biding it, and now he wants to build it again. And this time, he's far enough ahead that he should be able to do it. He just needed to wait till he had just a little bit of a military lead, and he does. He has no skirms, of course, but he's got a great hill here. This is such an excellent spot to put on some pressure. However, this stall can be broken with trebs. Critically, though, the Malay almost always get to the Imperial Age first. Getting at the first trebs in these treb fights will be huge. TaToH knows he can't wait, so what should you do in the meantime? Get out some battering rams. He's gonna need to make a counterattack pronto. And this is usually when the Mongols kind of fall apart. For a civ that's so strong in the early Imperial Age, they need to get so many upgrades, they need to build all their castles, it takes forever. And the Malay are fast. Their super late game is all about crappy units, and they overwhelm you with quantity of them, so if TaToH can hold on, I feel like he's going to pull ahead, but this is that power spike for the Malay, and the Viper's really taking advantage of it.
Yeah, Arbalest coming in for Viper right now, and yeah, with the trebs coming out as well, this castle on the hill for TaToH here, going to be having a hard time. Fortunately, Viper is attacking uphill, so it's going to give him a little bit more time. And yeah, the rams coming out for TaToH right now is it's really his best choice, but he is losing access to his gold on the front. TC is half health. It's going to go down if he's not careful. Now, Viper getting a little closer to TC here on the right, but look at TaToH's economy. It is mostly idle, and that is terrible news. They are completely even in population, but TaToH having to idle so many villas, having to build emergency town centers, he is really disrupted here, and this is going to hurt him big time. So with TaToH reaching him, I feel like it's too late. I feel like he's lost too much already. And Viper being Viper, I just don't think he's going to make the mistakes to let TaToH back into this one. And I think the door has been firmly shut in TaToH's face now that Viper has reached the Imperial Age, and he is, traveling down this castle over here on the left side.
Poor TaToH was on a race against the clock, and he's losing it. He needed to get to the Imperial Age at closer to the same time, and he wasn't able to. So the Viper really taking advantage of that. He's got the Arbalest, which is such a standard opening for the Malay, because of course it's an instantaneous power spike when you get to the Imperial Age, and they always get there first. TaToH needs to buy some time to get a footing in this game, make some units, get some upgrades. Making only skirms isn't going to do anything because the Malay actually have a couple knights thrown in the mix. With this castle going down at the front, TaToH falling apart at the seams, this match escalated quickly. It was so close, but the Viper with that faster imp is closing it out.
Yeah, TaToH losing so much farming as well around this TC on the front. He's only just sent his villagers back to work on the center TC, and would you look at that food count? There is just no food in the bank for TaToH. Viper here coming in with the Karambit warriors right now. They're going to end up taking out the Mangonel at the back, and they're probably going to take out these elite skirmishers as well. They're notoriously weak. They are terrible, but they don't take any population. Well, they take half a population spot. They're super cheap and easy, but TaToH with the Ram Rush, this is something that could help him to hurt Viper a little bit. If he loses these 3 trebuchets, that's extremely expensive and costly, but, you know, TaToH's still in by no means a good position. He's still got a long way back into this game if he wants to make it.
Wait, holy shit, is that Mangonel gonna die too? And
yeah.
It is! Wow, okay, so, but here's the thing. The Viper has the answer to this. He's got the Karambit warriors. But like you said, this unit is absolute trash. With only 5 attack, it's tickling these rams. But these hunks of shredded wheat have no melee armor, so they will slowly fall regardless. I feel like TaToH is somehow clawing his way back in this game, which shouldn't be possible by any stretch of the imagination. The main thing that he's going to have to worry about is half his economy is idle. Those few arbs in his base, he needs to deal with them if he wants to claw his way back. But the siege rams, or captain in this case, are doing so very well. Karambit warriors with only 5 attack are not even that great of an answer. They still die to the skirms. The Viper losing the middle of the map. Somehow, TaToH clawing his way back into the game, and it's those rams. This is crazy.
He really needs to deal with the Arbalest. Like, a lot of his eco is falling idle, and these guys are fairly even in population. Oh, sorry, well, they're not actually that even in population. I think Viper is certainly got much bigger eco back here, actually. So TaToH definitely cannot afford to let it be idling. He does have an opportunity to make a good push, though. I mean, he's actually taking down one of the castles in the middle. He's coming forward with the ram train. He'll take down a TC. He's coming forward with the skirms, and he will support the rams with that. The problem is Viper does have that bigger eco. He does have 1,000 food in the bank or thereabouts. And he's actually pop capped at 135 right now. After losing the TC, he doesn't actually have the population room to queue more units. He's throwing up houses at the top, like desperately trying to get that population cap up. But yeah, I mean, TaToH, surprisingly, looks like he's staging a little bit of a comeback. But to be honest, I mean, I hate to say it, I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think he is still way too far behind here. He's really trying to get his economy going again, though. And if he can do that, I think maybe he's got a chance. Well,
if there's one thing this tournament has taught me, and has taught me many things, is that rams are the best unit in the game. He's actually going to pick off this Onager, maybe. Okay, he does due to friendly fire, that's pretty nice. He did so much damage to the Viper. We've seen this before, where the Ram Rush comes in there and just houses your opponent and just does so much damage. TaToH, this will not nearly be enough for him to win the game. But is it enough to buy him time to build back? Maybe. The Viper has Onagers, which I think is really smart, and TaToH doesn't actually have any truly offensive units, so I don't think he can deny this castle in the middle. If this goes up, it's totally GG. TaToH bought himself some time, showing promising signs of life, but the Viper, coming back with a vengeance, he might get this castle up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I thought maybe he'd have a shot with the Onager coming in. Yeah, there's no way. Also, just look at the difference in upgrades. Viper's got +4/+4, whereas TaToH's on +3/+2. So his skirms are hitting harder, although he does have less of them, it seems. But yeah, the castle's going to go up right there, and TaToH's looking for something on this right-hand side, but at the moment, he doesn't really have any way to push this castle back. His gold is still not being mined here. He is actually taking the secondary gold in the back, but his gold income is pretty poor at the moment. And I think if he can just get a few more rams out, then maybe he has a shot. But, you know, Viper has a lot of onagers here as well, and that's going to be really difficult to go at the castle with when the onagers are sat behind it. We've also got some Karambit raiding coming in. I wonder if Viper's done any upgrades. Oh, wow, he's actually done the elite Karambit upgrade. 40 HP. Would you believe that? That's a beefy unit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least it has 2 Pierce armor, so it's kind of okay versus Skirms. That's actually why Cision decided to take 1 Pierce armor away from it. It's just because in the super late game, it's one of the few times we've seen elite Karambit warriors really pay dividends, is because they just eat up those elite skirm shots that are actually very difficult to deal with in a low gold situation. This unit is, it's alright. I feel like the Castle Age one is significantly weaker, and really, TaToH just doesn't have a window here to claw his way back, and he's gonna call GG. Wow. Almost had a comeback. Almost.
Almost, but not quite. I think, yeah, it was a really nice attempt, and TaToH did put up a decent fight, but ultimately Viper's going to grab that one. And I mean, I'd mostly put that down to the fact that Viper was a lot faster in actually getting up to the Imperial Age. It allowed him to get the, you know, fire the first bullet, get the first shot off, get the first trebs out, and that really allowed him to push TaToH off his gold at the front and claim these hills as his own. And these hills were absolutely key in this game. So Viper will grab that, and with that, with those hills, you will grab the victory. Another thing that was going on that we didn't really get to see the effect of, but could have been interesting. He actually researched the harbor technology, and he was actually thalassocracy. I think it's called.
Yeah.
He's actually building harbors over on the lakes near TaToH's base. He's actually going to try and raid with harbors here, which would have been brilliant if only we'd have seen that. But TaToH called GG anyway. Viper just had bigger eco, more gold, and had better units in the end. He had no way to real deal with those onagers.
One quick thing, Carlini says that apparently the Viper has the longest win streak so far out of all the Escape Gaming tournaments, as you can see in the Hall of Fame, which of course was added to the escape.gg website, which if you guys haven't checked out, definitely give that a look. Apparently the Viper with the longest win streak currently, Nikov, I believe, is the second longest win streak, so wow.
Yeah, Viper keeping it going 4-0 so far in the tournament, and that's really impressive. Of course, we will see him again in round 3. We don't know who his opponent will be just yet, but he will be back again tomorrow, that's for sure. We do have another 2 games to come tonight, though, guys, so do stick around. We've got Nikov coming up next versus Doubt, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll be back after Notebook's analysis for our final game of the evening, so stay tuned.